Today we are going to be going over the strongest... Can you guys calm down? I'm trying to record a video here. Today we are going to be going over the strongest weapon in Modern Warfare 2, the Kastov 762. This thing is a powerhouse of a weapon. It hits harder than Johnny Sins. With my setup, you're going to have so much mobility to where you can use this weapon like an SMG, but you'll still have complete recoil control. For sure, one of the strongest weapons in the game. If you need the MGB, you gotta use this weapon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here is a weapon in the AK family, the Kastov 762, and this is honestly one of the strongest guns in the game. Very, very high damage, and then the damage range is very good too. The only downside to the weapon, in my opinion, is like the overall mobility and the recoil control. So the attachments that we are going to be throwing on this weapon is just to bring down that recoil and then to add a little bit more mobility. Right now the mobility is pretty good. It's just when you start adding recoil control attachments. Someone just joined my party. I'm curious who this is. Okay, how do we go over here? Social, then we go to groups recent. It's me, Dexter. What's up, Dexter? I'm recording a video. So for the first attachment, we are going to be adding the Lockshot KT85. I really like this muzzle because it adds a lot of recoil control without that many cons to your mobility. Like, we are losing ADS-speed, but compared to the other muzzles in the game, it feels like this one is a lot lighter. Say you do want to run a suppressor on the build, which in my opinion, the suppressors don't help that much. Like, your gun is very loud with a suppressor, plus it hurts the mobility a ton, and so I don't really recommend it. But if you want to run one, I recommend running the Polar Fire S. For the tuning on that suppressor, I would increase the ADS speed just because recoil smoothness actually doesn't do anything in the game. For the bottom bar, bring up that bolt velocity. It's going to make the weapon feel a little bit better. It just increases the speed that the bullets leave your gun and hit the enemies. For the tuning on the lock shot, I would increase the recoil stabilization. That's going to reduce the horizontal recoil on the weapon. And then for the bottom bar, bring up the vertical recoil control, which is that gun kick control. And just so you guys know, this isn't based on a linear scale, so you actually get the most amount of gun kick control when you bring it to plus 0.15 rather than if you were to max that out. For the next attachment, I recommend you guys to add the Shark Fin 90. This is a very good underbarrel. If you're trying to use an underbarrel that doesn't give you recoil control, the Shark Fin 90 is going to be the best one. If you want a lot of recoil control on the weapon and you don't mind losing some mobility, the phase 3 grip will be the best one, which is what we were using on my previous M4 setup. But for this build, you want to run the Shark Fin. For the tuning, since this weapon doesn't have that much horizontal recoil, like that lock shot is really helping out, so we're going to increase the ADS speed. For the bottom bar, because the Shark Fin 90 specializes in the aiming stability, and I believe the stock that we're going to be adding is going to bring down the stability, we are going to go ahead and increase the aiming idle stability, making the weapon way more stable. So the stock that's going to bring down the aiming stability is going to be the Kastov Rama. This is just going to increase the aim walking speed and sprint speed, so it's going to make the weapon feel a lot better. Tried out the Marquise, and this one feels good, but we're just losing a lot of recoil control, and so I found myself always doing better with the Kastov, but you might want to try out the Marquise. For the tuning on the stock, the aim walking steadiness honestly doesn't matter, so just increase the ADS speed, then increase the aim walking speed. So now this weapon is going to have a lot more mobility with a lot of recoil control, and we are going to be using one more attachment to furthermore increase that mobility. When you go to test out that recoil control, you guys can see the lock shot is really making this thing stable. It is so much easier to use. For the rear grip, I recommend you guys to add the True Tag grip. It's going to make the weapon feel more like an SMG. We are losing recoil control, but I didn't really notice it. Say it is noticeable to you and you want the weapon to be a little bit more stable, I recommend adding the Ivanhoe. It's going to make it a little bit easier to stay on target when the enemies are shooting at you. For the tuning, typically I'll increase the value that the weapon specializes in. In this case, this increases mobility, so then I would tune it for more mobility. But since we are losing a decent amount of our horizontal recoil control, we're just going to increase the recoil steadiness, and we still get a lot of ADS speed. For the bottom bar, whenever you have the option to increase your sprint to fire, across the board, every single gun in this game has a slow sprint to fire, so I really recommend you guys to increase that value. It's going to make it feel so much better. For the next attachment, this one is going to be personal preference. So for me, I really like to run an optic, but I know a lot of people like to run the iron sights on this build. So if you do want to run the iron sights, honestly, I would add a laser. I'll give you guys another variation, but the laser is going to add a lot of aiming stability, and then you get a lot of mobility, which if you do run this laser, because it's giving us so much aiming stability on this Shark Fin 90, you don't really need to tune this for aiming stability. I would just tune it for the strafe speed, which now you'll be a little bit of a harder target to hit, and you can strafe a little bit quicker, making the weapon feel better. So this is a very good build. Say you are not running a suppressor, then you guys can add a barrel that's going to increase the mobility by a ton. I wouldn't add the socket because it hurts the range a lot, but the Kastovia 343, this one makes the weapon feel very good. We are losing damage range, but it's not that noticeable. rifle. What you guys can also do is go over to the ammo. You guys can add the armor piercing rounds and then tune it for the damage range and the bolt velocity. So now your gun is going to have about 5 to 10% more damage range. I don't know which one it is. If someone can let me know, it's 5 or 10%. Plus it's going to built in the FMJ, so it's going to take less bullets when you shoot the enemies through cover. Lastly, what you guys can also do is go over to the magazine. This makes the weapon feel very good on shipment. You can add the 40 round mag. For me though, we are just going to be adding the Corona Mini Pro. This is the blue dot sight, and I believe you unlock this by leveling up the expedite to level 12, and I really recommend you guys do so. For the tuning on here, I would just increase the flinch resistance, making it a little bit easier to stay on target when the enemy is shooting at you. For the bottom bar, if you want the gun to look like it has less recoil, then I would increase the farness, but the enemies are going to be a little bit harder to hit. So I do really recommend you guys to find like what you prefer. This is heavily on personal preference. I would keep it at 0 or just, you know, find your own. So here is the final build of the weapon. You guys can see the ADS is pretty good. It's a little bit slow, but overall pretty good. Overall sprint speed is very good. The strafe speed is very, very strafey. It feels very light. And then when we go to test out the recoil control, you guys can see very, very easy to beam with the enemy. Here's the overview in case you guys want to take a screenshot. And today's gameplay is a pretty nasty one on Tarak. I think that's how you say. I really recommend you guys watching it. Hey boys, we gotta get this. We gotta go. We gotta get this. Bong bong bing bong. Let's go. Setup is nasty. AJ, we're using the Kastov 762. Very gross gun. You're gross. I don't even know how I didn't hit him. I like mounted, unmounted, mounted without clicking a single button. Come on, please push. What the hell? That's not how you get better. That's how you get worse at the game, dude. You gotta ego chow. Advanced UAV. Now we know where these losers are. Boom. And then let's cut over here. Come on, come on. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Okay, so I need to throw down a... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, I need to throw down my munitions box. There's one guy over here. Yeah, what a weirdo. Whatever dads watch live streams are automatically cool. We're on the 20. This is the slowest nuke in the world. Well, Brandon, sometimes not going to college is like the best thing to do. I recommend only going to college if you know what you want to do. Like, if you don't know what to do, you probably shouldn't go waste all that money. College is great if you know what you want to do in life. You're like, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a biologist. I want to have a business degree so I can do this. Then I would go. But if you're like, I don't know what I want to do in life, it's probably better to like find yourself. Know what you want to do. Just so you don't get a random degree and like waste your money. Since that shit's expensive. Is shipping it here? It is here. We're just taking a little bit of a break. I'm trying to get a nuke on a different map. Because we got all the nukes today on shipment. I think we're a couple kills off. I don't want to sit in this building. It's just there's so many mannequins. Let's go! The nuke, let's go! Let's freaking go. College helps you explore options when you're doing electives and general education requirements. Well, sometimes like for my brother, he had to choose a degree to go. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna do engineering. So they're having him do all these engineering type classes. So that's why I don't want people to like waste their money on that shit. But I guess talking to a counselor is probably the best thing to do. One issue that I have with high school counselors is that the only answer is college. That's like the only fucking answer on earth. Compared to like a regular counselor that would like guide you in the right direction, not what the school is telling them to guide them in. Like my counselors at my school are like college. College is the only thing. And so I'm so happy I dropped out at the moment. I don't know how my retirement's gonna be. But as long as, you know, I'm on pace for a good retirement at the moment. On pace to get there. Oh, Lena. I guess I would watch a video. I don't know. I was gonna try to fix you, but I don't even know what your setup looks like or anything. But like those problems are so annoying on there. I recommend trade school. My buddy went to HVAC technician work. Oh yeah, trade school chat is like super good. If you don't really know what you want to do in life, trade school, there's so many good jobs out there like that you can get through trade school. Like that shit is like one of the best things that you can do. Like, you can make way more money going to trade school than getting like a typical degree. But I'm not saying not to go to college. I'm just saying be smart. Do what you love in life. Make yourself happy. That's the only way you'll be happy in life, is if you do what makes you happy. And that's working a minimum wage job. Work a minimum wage job if that makes you happy. Happiness is key. Any jobs will pay for trade school too. Exactly, yeah. If you want to go trade school, jobs pay for that. So it's like, that's a great way to... Like, if I wasn't doing content creation and okay, no, I would probably just work for another YouTuber. If I weren't to be in the social media area, I would probably go to trade school and do something like that. But since I have a decent amount of followers and I know how to edit and do graphic design, my backup plan is to just work for another YouTuber, which I did work for These Knives Only and his girlfriend for a little bit, until I just got way too busy with my own stuff. I throw music festivals. I dropped out too. I see you knew what you want to do. You dropped out. You pursued that, and boom, you're good. This man in there. I'd even see another dude in there. Where is this guy at? Any tips for your first MGB? You got to be better than the lobby first, and then you got to know where the enemies are at. If you can learn spawns, like general spawn points and how the enemies play on the maps, then it's a lot easier because you can predict where they're at. Call of Duty is literally just a game of predictions. That's all it is. It's who can predict who first. And then obviously, you know, who can hit their shots. Can I get tips to be better a YouTuber? There's this one YouTuber that you need to binge his videos. His name is Film Booth. Film Booth. YouTube is a lot about like human psychology. If you took psychology in school, you would be a better YouTuber. There's so much mind games. So we gotta call on this nuke very soon. Dude, broken ass pistols. Oh my god. Is there more people? Hopefully my teammates get out. Once we get to 140, 240, I'm gonna call on the MGB, which it seems like we are gonna hit that. So I'm gonna call on this MGB. No. Stop. Call it in, you soldier. Oh my god, that was so close. Holy shit, that was way too close. Dude, so scared. My guy always inspects the weapon or does some weird stuff. Oh, let's go. Can we hit a nice little clip on them? Boom, nasty. Nasty, let's go. I think there's a couple more dudes back here. Come on. No, where are they at? Well, let's get that. What the hell was that? Let's go! Nukes and dukes.
That little bitch like young. I bought a yard today. Let her pay they all yellow like bird.